Welcome back to Toes Eye Design. I'm going to discuss today this is actually the first piece of Ito Sashimono woodwork I tried to do, and this is a direct copy in terms of form, not dimensions. Those are mine from a piece they showed being made on NHK, the Japanese national broadcaster, on a show called Japanology. One of the hosts is Peter Barakin, who I find completely engaging. The show is a complete recommend, even when it's not on woodworking. It's fascinating to watch. And I think I got it on my Roku, and I see a lot of it on YouTube. But anyways, I'm here to talk about boxes, not television programming. I think this sums up Ito Sashimono pretty well, or it comes close to exemplifying it. The form itself is fairly just straightforward and simple, but at a further glance, you can see it's a fairly complicated object. It's rounded outside corners. This actually has a lofted top. There's a small flat here, but that's mostly due to my being not so good at it, and this being my first one. You'll see some other flaws in this box. It is what it is. I like it. I'll show you later one I made, which is much better. But this being like my first one, it's sort of like my baby. I really like it. It's made. It's a blind miter dovetail in here. As you can see, I got a little. I plane these corners with a plane, right? Uchimaru Kana, and I really was not very good at it, but I got the job done. This is what I was looking for. Blind miter dovetail in there, and you can see how the rounded inside and the rounded outside actually allow you to actually have room to actually put some decent sized joinery in there. Again, blind miter dovetails down here in the lower part of the box. This is the rabbeted top. I machine this out roughly with the table saw, and then I use my Kiwa Kana to fine tune it so that the box slides down nicely. It's pretty complicated box to make. I mean, it took me 7 tries before I got even to here, but it was well worth it. It was just, I would come home from work and just want to go straight to my garage. I have actually, you know what? Okay, so this does sort of defy the laws of woodworking. This top is glued directly to the top of the top is glued to the rest of the top directly. And as you can see, I have the long grain running this way and the long grain running this way at this joint. Technically, that's a no-no in woodworking, because this one's going to want to move back. This one's going to want to move back and forth this way. I mean, that's exaggerated. It's pretty thin and pretty small, but it is going to want to move, whereas this isn't going to want to. I mean, if anything, it would move this way. To combat that, I have actually lofted the top. There's a curve in here. It's somewhat badly exaggerated drawing, but I've tried to keep this thickness the same, so that the forces that can apply to this joint are less. And also, I am pretty much copying a style that's been made for at least the last several hundred years, and I mean, they're working in their species of wood, and they know their climate, so they have that going for them. But let's see. This box is a 1.5 years old, and it's perfectly flush. It's still working out really well. The multiple coats of garnet shellac I put on it are probably helping a lot. It's a fun box to build. There's the bottom. When I think I've talked about when I make something like this, I usually make 2. This is the sister box that something went wrong in the joinery. It didn't pan out. Let's take it apart. I'll show you the guts of the blind miter dovetails. It was making this work was really fun. You can see there's a little teeny 45-degree miter here and back behind here, and that's actually, that face of that is 45. Little teeny pins and a little bit bigger pins and cute little tails. As you can see, I actually make the box in one piece and glue this all together before actually gluing the top on, and then saw this part out to give me the top, and then this part here is where this rabbit is. Where I machine that out with this table saw and then fit it with my plane. I highly recommend blind miter dovetails because no one sees them. You want it strong, but they don't have to be pretty. Here's the top. You can see I've got a mortise, corresponding mortise to a tenon and all these. After that top is sawn off and fitted, and this is all cut out with my rounded bottom Japanese kana. I glue that on, and then I proceed to round the top off. Really enjoyable work. I recommend. I've not really worked with planes for most of my career, and I didn't really pick one up until about 5 years ago, and I didn't really get into them until about maybe 2 years ago. And I look forward to the time when I have to plane. I really recommend picking up a Japanese kana. We'll talk about it at some point. Here's another sample of the same style of box I made. This one is in English sycamore. Incredibly baroque, or just the chatoyance. I don't know if you can gonna get that. This has got blonde, super blonde shellac on it. I think we're gonna talk about shellac too. It is my favorite finish. This has the little miters in here. This one actually probably has a floating tenon. I use this style of box as a base for several other styles of boxes. This is probably a Christmas set for someone. I haven't decided who. I haven't actually even finished. I gotta glue that knob in, but I don't know. It's a handsome box. It's really fun to make. In fact, these have a machined joint in them. I think this one has two little teeny dominoes, number 4s, 4 millimeters. You actually have to cut down because they're too long. And this one has a joint similar to my hexi box, a machined in, stopped mortise and tenon. I think you can see I like making boxes. They're pretty fun. I'll show you my last. This is one of my favorites. This actually I know is put together with the little teeny dominoes expand the joint. This is a really fine piece of rift sawn white ash. See a theme here. I'm really liking rift sawn material. A little ebony knob top. It's just such a nice little box to work. It's just comfortable. Those rounded corners just feel good to hold. I'm thinking of even doing these in cherry and doing like a little curved top so they kind of look like apples. Anyways, that is my basic box that I work under, the basic style and model of box that I like to work in. I mean, I have many others, but this is kind of like a go-to favorite. Hope you like it. I like making it. We're going to do this all. I'm going to show you actually how to do this box with the blind miter dovetails and with the machined in joinery in the corners. Hope you stick around for that. That's be a couple months down the road. Anyways, I have some close-ups I've taken when I was building. I'll put those on the end of here, and stay tuned for those. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.